Straight off the bat, congratulations on Umroyad, first of all. And then also
Thank
now you have Barzakh coming out. Um,
you.
what does it feel like? What does it feel like to have two big projects, massive projects, ready to share with the world? And it's quite I mean, for the lack of a better word, comeback. And you're sharing the screen with Fawad now after Zindagi Gulzar. So what does it feel like?
It's an honor and a privilege, and I'm really excited that I've got so much work coming out this year. It wasn't planned like that. It was really planned
Yes.
to be spaced out maybe one a year, but I think I have got three coming out this year. Umroya, I was really excited to be a part of. It was fun to be part of a sci-fi action film. Bringing back to life one of our folklore characters, Royal. I hope there's room for sequels and sequences after that. Barzakh, I think OTT platforms have become, like for many actors, I think our comfort zone. Um, the topics explored in OTT platform content is something that we can relate to more, something that's more challenging, something that feels more fulfilling. Um, and I've always been a fan of Asim's work. It's always a no-brainer that something that Asim writes and directs is something that I would love to be a part of. Coming back with Fawad after so long is a treat because he's really a wonderful actor, a wonderful co-host, and it's really fun to exchange that energy with him on set and to create something that because we really work on it. So it's been really nice.
You spoke of how it wasn't really planned that way, and we do know that Barzakh was initially slated for a much earlier time. But the fact that the story itself is quite timeless. When you're ready to share with the world what the story is, do you have any concerns or wonderments, I would say, again, for the lack of a better word, that there might be ideas or thoughts or sequences or moments that you would have done differently had it been shot today or had it been conceived in, let's say, 2024 in a post-pandemic world, and like you said, with OTT being the primary choice for actors?
Interesting. No, there's absolutely nothing that I would change about my character or the approach or nothing that I would be like, Asim, now it's like 2024, a pandemic ho gaya, we should do this now. No, like you said,
Hmm.
when you started, you said it's like a timeless theme and the story is, I think if it comes out in another 2 years or if it came out 2 years earlier, it would still be relevant because it's really the circle of life. And so there's no time frame on that.
Hmm.
That's a fear we have. It's an excitement we all live with. It's the unknown. So that's, I think, relevant through all times.
Sanam, when we talk about OTT and we talk about stories which are not taken to mainstream channels, and then OTT is a more suited platform for such stories, and Barzakh may be one such story which a regular mainstream channel, especially in Pakistan, may not easily pick up on. What are other
Right.
kind of stories which you think, which you personally, I'm not talking about Asim or any other work that you have done in the past, but any work that you, any ideas or thoughts that you may have as an actor, that this is a character I would like to play, and I wish that mainstream channels or mainstream platforms would give a space to a character like that or story like that.
Definitely older women. This was a
Mm.
story about an older man. He's in his 70s. And I thought that was really
Yes,
important to highlight. Stories on somebody with a disability, stories on old age love, stories on minorities. I think these could be highlighted more, and OTT platform gives room to these topics. Any kind of taboo topic you pick up, it would be nice to
mm.
see them being done for television because the audience is far greater in a sense, or the audience is,
Spectrum
I
is
think.
wider. Yes,
The spectrum is wider, exactly. The spectrum is wider, and also there's so much you can do to educate and enlighten and show a different perspective on that can really affect and trickle down into their lives. Because TV is a
absolutely.
medium available in every household. The TV watching audience is the audience that doesn't necessarily get to travel much, doesn't really get their exposure from books or foreign films or foreign television. They just have Pakistani television.
Or even
And
cinema. They don't even have that many cinemas in
exactly.
Pakistan. Yeah.
So there's a lot of interesting storytelling, very powerful storytelling that you can do through the medium of television. And so, yes, there are many characters that I would like to see being done on television instead of being not wasted on OTT platforms, but not exposed enough as those characters would be on television.
Right. When you talk about your character in Barzakh and you're playing a woman who's telling the story or who's kind of also a big part of what the central premise of the story is, this man getting married to what he thinks is going to be the final love of his life or the original love of his life.
You still love it, right? Yeah.
When we look, yeah, so when you looked at this character and when you took this character in, were there any people or any ideas or concepts? Because overall Barzakh is a very conceptual sort of a story. There's not, you can't say that, oh, this happened and that happened. It's not a point A to point B kind of a story. So when with the concept so abstract and so unreal, with so much magical realism weaved into the tale, what were your inspirations or references for your own character?
We were going to jot down some films and characters to watch and kind of draw inspiration from, but just as Asim and I were going to make the list, we said no. Why are we doing that? Why are we taking support from a character that's we'd like to imagine not been written, Abhi? You know, this is let's focus on what Asim has written and how he and I can create her. And I keep saying this is that Asim had an image of her, and then I played her, and then we worked on her, but she was really developed in the rehearsal space. Like when I'd be acting with or reading my lines with both the Fawads or with the child or with Salman Shahid, we would then develop her and be like, no, you know, I don't think she would change her demeanor, or she would be soft here but like harder here, or she would be quiet here or stronger here. So that really was the magic of rehearsal space, where we got to find the right tone, the right face angle, because she has to be a curious creature, but not a creature. She has to be relatable, but not as vulnerable as people just in this realm are. She had to have a harder shell, but without being hard, but not too soft. So there was this really confusing balance that we were constantly trying to find, where Scheherzaade would appear to be two-dimensional, but actually would be very layered. And it was very hard because I wasn't allowed to emote much. Like I couldn't show wonder and surprise and anger and excitement and sadness too much. It had to be, and I said, if I just keep one expression for everything, it's going to be very stiff and boring. So I'm quite nervous. It was a very difficult role for me. Asim's been very sweet and said that, you know, he was really happy with this performance, but I'm nervous because it was quite difficult. It was a very confusing state to be in, and thankfully that my cast and the team was really supportive, and I basically just fed off of whatever they were giving me. And so
I'm sure
that's
you
why
aced it. I'm quite sure you aced it. Yeah. Last question. What are your expectations when people watch Barzakh, inshallah, soon in the next week or so, week 10 days? What is your ideal expectation that I want people to watch Barzakh, and this is what I want them to take with them once they're done watching all the
I
episodes?
watch Barzakh because it's got characters of all ages. You know, I want men to watch this and remember their lost love, or remember their love with their partners or partner. I want children to be watch this and be amazed by the importance that a child has in an adult's life. You know, some children feel ignored or that they're not important enough, but like through this, you really understand how important a child is, and how impressionable they are when it comes to the adults and their behavior towards children. I want siblings, brothers to feel like, you know, reminisce or connect with or relate to the brothers bond, the siblings bond, the father and son in old age and the father and son in younger ages. So it's this generational connection that I want people to experience and also be intrigued. Intrigue seems to be the word that is constantly associated with Barzakh. It's intriguing. It's intriguing. So I do want people to feel that sense of magic and intrigue when thinking of meeting souls or what will happen on that full moon night, on that red moon night. And then I want them to be kind of get lost in the magic that we're kind of sprinkling out throughout Barzakh, like through some VFX and through some of the story, just bringing back ideas of shamans and old tales and fairies and magic, and not so much magic, but more spiritual realism.
Thank you, Sanam. Best of luck with everything, and hope to see you in a Pakistani series or
Okay.
movie soon, inshallah.
Thank you.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
thank you, thank you, guys.